I'm going to walk you through an example where we send and receive data, custom messages using the serial port on one of our PLCs. And in this case, I'm using a 3090. And when you're configuring them, you want to, by default, they'll be set up as Modbus communication. You'll want to switch those over to custom, and then you can adjust the baud rate, parity, and stop bits as your application needs. In this example, we'll just keep them the default. And in this application, I'm not actually going to talk to another piece of hardware. Instead, I've got the transmit line on our PLC looped back around to the receive line, so it's just a wire going from transmit to receive. So in this case, we will send a message out, and then we'll receive it ourselves. And I've already got this example designed, so I'm just going to talk you through it. It's all set up like a state machine, like we've gone through in other examples. So you see that we advance states at the end of the state that we're at, depending on if they met whatever criteria it needed to move on, and then we do the checking for states here, just like we do with other state machines. So in this example, I'm going to go ahead and first set up a receive. You can bring them over here. These are the serial comms, but we already set one up here. And what it does is it's got a tag that you specify. You put a tag in there, and this will hold the number of bytes that have come in on the line. So it'll in case you need to know how many bytes you received, you can use that. And then you set up an array that'll actually hold them. And in this case, you can see I've got a array that's 5 long. And the trick here is if you've got a number of different length messages coming in, you can just make sure that the array is large enough to hold the largest message, and then you can use this other tag to tell you how many were actually received with the most recent message. This is the space between messages. I've just set it as 100 milliseconds. And we've got a bit that tells us when a message is actually ready to be processed. So we go through there, we go ahead and we set up the receive, then we advance the state to state equals 2, it loops back around, now state is equal to 2, and the first thing I'm doing here is I'm putting messages into the transmit array. So I've got a second array, and we can go into tags, and I'll show you that. You see I've got this transmit array, and I'm making it a size of 3. So in this copy state here, I'm copying a 1 into the 0 byte, a 22 into the 1 byte, and a 33 into the 2 byte. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to send it. And again, that uses this serial comm tool, and I've got one already placed. And with that, if you in both these cases, the send and the receive, you can go ahead and specify the port. And the 3090, there's just one RS-232 port, so it's already specified. But if you had multiple, you'd specify it there. But you give it the transmit array, and you tell it how long your message is, and then you specify a bit that will be set by this operation once the message has actually been sent. After this, I'm going to go ahead and advance my state machine, so it's going to loop back around. It'll be state equals 3 next, and then I'm checking for the done sending bit. And in this case, I'm not going to do anything with it, but in your application, you may want to send a message, wait till it's sent, and then send the next message, something like that. You could do that by first checking to see if the first message is sent before you proceed to send the next one. So in this case, I'm not doing anything with it. I just advance the state, and then we're at state equals 4. And here I'm waiting for the receive ready, the receive that we set up here in state equals 1. If that bit is true, then we have already received the message back, and I will take the data that's in that receive array that we set up, and I'm going to copy each of those bytes. We know that we sent 3 bytes, so I'm just going to look at the first 3. I'm just copying them into 3 dummy variables, and this is just a way for us to get them on the screen so we can see what's happened. Okay, so now I'm going to program the device, and I'll move it to debug mode, and I'll set a breakpoint right here. So I'm going to let it run through. We'll tell it to receive data. We'll send the data. We'll wait all the way until the received data has come in, and we'll stop here, and we'll see what's actually happened. Okay, so it's gotten here already. And now if we switch to value mode, you can see that the 1, the 22, and the 3 that we sent has come into our receive array. So this whole thing's worked. And at the end of this program, I'm just going into state equals 5. I'm coming 5 into there, which we aren't handling anywhere. So it's just going to, in this case, we're just going to hang out forever in that state. But your program, you move on and do some other task. But I'll make this code available on the website, and that should get you off to a good start sending and receiving custom data messages.